Hello, 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 everybody.
Hello, guys.
And by that we mean the 0 viewers who are watching.
All of them.
I'm sure millions will watch at a later date, so you better say what you gotta say right now.
All right, I'm going to say it. I'm Margie, and this is Dan. We're the Gen-Xers.
Yeah.
How are ya? What
There
of
used to
it?
be a lot of us, and then we lost the generational wars against the boomers. They wiped out most of our troops.
So we're the only two left.
Yeah.
We're the only two left out there.
But, hey, at least you've got us. Our words of wisdom. What's going on with you this week?
Well, I was going to say, I have some exciting news from Ohio.
What?
We have a fan in Ohio.
We do. We have someone from Ohio who watched last week. So we've got Ohio wrapped up.
Right. Sewn up
I believe
in
we've
the
got a
bag.
fan from Wisconsin or Virginia or one of them.
They're real close together.
We got at least one in the Dakotas.
They call Virginia and Wisconsin the Twin Cities, I believe.
Well, that's where we live, the Windy City. Where
No.
do we live?
Huh?
Where do we live? I can't remember.
Where do we live? We live in the Midwest with our fellow Ohioans.
We live in the South Midwest.
The South Midwest.
Actually, the Southeast Midwest.
Southeast.
We're
Midwest.
everything, but we're not north of anything.
We're very close to the Mississippi River. I know that.
Yeah, we're practically in it. We were in it, and then the drought.
Right.
So now we've...
Now you can see us for the first time in 100 years.
We're still at the bottom of it with the catfish.
Right. This is what they've dredged up. They were like, oh, is Gen X still here? And we said, yeah. You want to play hacky sack? Listen to some Matchbox 20?
Spoon Man? Some Spoon Man? Spoon Man. Spoon Man. Ding, ding, ding.
All right, now we have
Margaret, go fetch my spoons. Please.
We have some
Hold
serious.
on. I've got to get my spoon.
You're gonna get some spoons.
Yeah, you entertain these people.
Well, okay. I don't know. Here in a little bit, we're gonna talk about some Weird Al Yankovic, old school Weird Al, and the new movie. So stick around for that.
I'm the Spoon Man.
You are.
Look, Soundgarden wrote a song
Now-
about it. Back in the 90s, before RA, I was very good at this. And Soundgarden wrote a song called Spoon Man about me.
You know what I told my mom? I said, "Don't blame me for marrying a spoon man."
Oh, don't marry a Spoon Man, whatever you do.
That's what she said. She said, "Don't marry a spoon man." I said, "But I got to."
I lost my touch a little bit.
Oh, how was your week? We sewed up Ohio. It got super cold here. Tomorrow we're going to a big old craft bazaar. It's Christmas
I
season.
want to check out that crap bazaar.
Yeah,
It's going to be so bizarre. How bizarre.
yeah, kind of like that.
All I'm
song.
going to say tomorrow, every time I go up to a booth, how bizarre, how bizarre. How bizarre.
You'll be the
Now
hit.
I'll walk on to the next booth. How bizarre. Do you remember that too?
You'll be the hit of the craft bazaar. Yes,
What was
I did.
that?
It was bizarre.
It was. How bizarre that became a hit.
Sometimes we had songs that just said one thing over and over, like, what was that one? I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy. Like, he just kept on going and going about that.
Especially in the 90s, sometimes we just did weird stuff and made it a hit just to confuse people, I think. Just to confuse the older generation.
Right.
Jerry was a race car driver, anyone. I remember the first time I ever saw that, which is a great song. Les Claypool, great bass player, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my friend, DJ Corey, were watching that after school. MTV, the video countdown we used to have. Never seen it before. The guy's jamming. We're expecting this hard rock Metallica voice to come out, and then it's, Jerry was a race car driver. We started cracking up so bad, my dad thought we were on drugs. He made us turn MTV off.
You turn off that.
Bonanza time, boys. It was always Bonanza time.
Go get your Little House on the Prairie books.
My dad could find Bonanza on the TV anytime, anywhere after cable.
That was a superpower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
I believe I clarified that during our last show when I said I think making anything into a smoothie is the best superpower to have. And I already have that power.
True. Mine would be finding Bonanza TV anytime I could.
Right. Do you feel like your father passed that down to you through genetics? No? Darn.
No, fortunately.
No. Maybe you just
Or else
haven't.
we'd be watching Bonanza right now. What are you
Well,
talking about?
maybe it just hasn't awakened in you
Little
yet.
Joe Hoss.
Like maybe we should open a can of Alpo. Doesn't that bring like the? Remember when they opened the can of Alpo and like the covered wagon would come running up and.
I do remember that too. Ain't that old yet. Can't remember that old covered wagon. Look, man, I tell you what's going on with me. So on Fridays, I take Methotrexate for rheumatoid arthritis. Which is, you know what these people don't. I got diagnosed with about a year and a half ago, right? And it makes me super tired on Fridays. Brain fog, sometimes some stomach upset. And so then, I don't know whose bright idea it was to do the live part of the channel on Fridays after I take my Methotrexate. But here I am, floating around in a fog of chemicals. It's a low dose of chemo, basically, for the arthritis.
Well, I don't know what fool would think that
Well,
us doing a show at this time.
Especially it's the middle of the night.
Right.
Dear God, it's almost 9 o'clock.
It's dusk.
It is.
Here we are at dusk doing this show.
Dear God.
We should be.
Doing a lot of work on the channel this week, even with the old arthritis. Hope to have my Norm Macdonald video up this week, finally. I put up another little teaser clip the other day. Hope to have that up on Sunday. Probably one more teaser clip tomorrow, then maybe the whole thing on Sunday. Then I'm going to do one of either Gilbert Godfrey or Joan Rivers next. I can't decide who.
You
I'll
know,
do one of those two. I'm going to do a video on both of them, but I don't know who next.
I was going to say, you know what our listeners could do to get access to those videos really quickly is just hit like and subscribe.
Yeah,
That's all
like
I'm
and
saying.
subscribe, you know.
Just a thought.
Sure, it makes me work faster. Every time someone hits like and subscribe, I speed up just a little bit.
Right?
Gotta get this Norm video done.
You are the wind beneath his wings.
And I got videos on He-Man, Battlestar Galactica, which you know is my all-time favorite show.
Yes.
Not the Ronald Moore version. I'm talking the old Lauren Green. No, not really. I'm talking the reboot, the Ron Moore version, who I'm a big fan of all the way back from Star Trek Deep Space Nine on.
Mm-hmm.
We've been watching No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Is that what that's called? Wait, no, For All Mankind. No Man's Sky is a video game I play. Never mind. For All Mankind.
You know what you were thinking about? We have been watching For All Mankind, but what you're thinking about, I think, is Night Sky.
Oh, with Sissy Spacek and J.K. Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. That's pretty like sci-fi for one. It's got an older couple as the main couple, which is not what you see a lot in media.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of character-driven sci-fi. I like it.
Words. Sissy Spacek is, speaking of characters, you can't take your eyes off of her.
Well,
in
she's
that
always so good, yeah.
series. She's really, really good. So she definitely drives the series, but backed up by plenty of supported characters. And yeah, a really good story. I think it's more drama, but also there's some thriller elements in there.
But to me, the most intriguing part of the whole show is their relationship with Sissy Spacek and J.K. Simmons' characters, their marriage, and just... I guess they had a son who committed suicide at some point. I mean, it's not really a spoiler. You find out right away, but I don't know. There's just a lot of tension there. Mm-hmm. It's really good. So character-driven sci-fi, you don't see it a lot. Yeah. Not a lot of shooting yet. A little bit. Starting to get a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Well, speaking of shows, I did say that we were going to talk a little bit about the Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, we watched the Weird Al biopic.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of Weird Al, so when I was a kid, I mostly listened to what my parents listened to. I guess most kids did, but my parents were a little older. My friends' parents were listening to like 60s music. My parents were listening to Fats Domino, a lot of country music at that time, I guess, but the rock they did listen to was like from the 50s, Fats Domino, Jerry Lee Lewis, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So most all classic rock songs, My Sharona, Another One Rides the Bus. I heard the Weird Al version years before I ever heard the actual song, because my friend Timmy Giddens played a Weird Al tape for me one time, and it was Got a Boogie. got a boogie, and I got a boogie on my finger, and I can't shake it off. Thought it was the funniest damn thing I'd ever heard in my life. It's about 11 years old or 10 or whatever it was.
Right.
So
The height of humor.
yeah, so I went out and got every Weird Al thing I could. I knew all of these songs. No idea that they were based on actual real life songs going on, right?
So there's a scene in the movie where the biopic claims that Weird Al wrote "Eat It" before Michael Jackson wrote "Beat
Yeah.
It," and they claim that Michael Jackson made a parody of "Eat It." So was that plausible for you then?
That was exactly what it was like for me, yeah. When I heard Beat It, I thought, huh, sounds just like a Weird Al song.
Right.
Of course,
It's
by then I
almost
was
as good.
33.
What?
I didn't start listening, I was 33 by then. I started listening to rock and roll music until I was in my early 30s.
Right, I remember that.
No, I was probably 6th or 7th grade before I really started listening to rock. And I traded something to my friend down the street for Prince's Purple Rain album, which I'd never heard, just because I don't know, it was something dumb that I didn't want. So I traded to him and listened to it, and I heard Prince for the first time, and I thought, then it's goodbye Weird Al. It's all
Goodbye,
Prince
Weird Al.
after that for a while, and then rock and roll. And
So you
it's all downhill after that. Life was much simpler when it was Weird Al, not Prince.
So did you just throw Weird Al like right out the window then?
No, I still love Weird Al. I've always loved Weird Al.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say this. The new movie is definitely, you should watch it. There are scenes in there where he gets the inspiration for his songs, and I forgot to look up who the director was. I apologize, but really great, legendary scenes. You know, like almost like he has this superpower. He's staring at bologna and thinking of My Sharona and staring at
I'll
bologna.
never come up with another idea. Yeah.
Right, and then just magically the whole song just kind of forms in his head.
As if it's a life-changing artistic moment in history,
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely mocking biopics, playing on a bunch of the cliches, but there's some real stuff in there, like he did record another one, Rides the Bus, in a bathroom,
Okay.
bus station bathroom, like he does in the movie.
Only a super fan would know that.
True, bro. Well, yeah.
Because I didn't know that.
There is an older Weird Al mockumentary that also serves as like a video collection of his videos that we started watching the other night. We didn't finish it, called The Complete Weird Al. That's pretty funny as well.
And did we look that up on Tubi, I believe?
It was on Tubi.
Yes, it was on Tubi. We love Tubi.
If you guys haven't discovered the wonders of Tubi yet, if you're old enough like us to remember going to the VHS store, you know, looking at the aisles of all the random stuff, a lot of it you've never heard of, a lot of it cheaply made and bad but fun, it's all on Tubi. It's like walking into a video store where everything's just randomly put together with no rhyme or reason. It's awesome.
Right.
I don't know how it's legal because there's stuff on Tubi that's supposed to be exclusive to other channels. It's right there on Tubi.
Don't out them here in front of our millions of fans.
I want to be on Tubi. I want to get this show on Tubi.
In Ohio.
So yeah. One other thing I did want to say about the Weird Al is, if you're a fan and you watch his videos, you know that he pays, especially after he got the money to start doing it, he pays exquisite attention to detail. So like a parody video, there's so many jokes that fly by. It's kind of like Airplane or something like that. You've got to watch it more than once.
Yeah.
Same with the movie. He didn't direct it, but the guy that did, there was a lot of sight gags where you just got to really be careful and make sure you're catching everything.
Right.
One of my favorite ones was at some party or whatever, then all these kind of like gimmicky musician people were there, I guess. Tiny Tim and some, I don't know, Pee Wee Herman, not a musician, but kind of, you know, people who are outrageous characters, I guess.
Right. They were
like
all...
Weird Al.
Yeah. And Daniel Radcliffe was amazing as Weird Al. Larger than life. He played him like a superhero. It was really good. And then Evan Rachel Wood as Madonna was excellent.
Her voice sounded just like Madonna sounded in the 80s. Not like she sounds now, but like she sounded in the 80s, which was pretty amazing. Just like, so yeah, very funny. Highly recommend that one. Whether you're a Weird Al fan or not, which I think your mileage with actually listening to Weird Al songs probably wears thinner faster than me.
Yeah,
but
that's
you really
true.
enjoyed the movie, even not being a huge fan, you know?
I did.
Like, you don't hate Weird Al. I mean,
No,
you're
I
not
don't.
actively against him.
No, but I'm not actively for him either. Like I listen whenever you play the songs. I kind of okay, all right, we're singing about Bologna,
Living with a hernia.
right? And then I'm done. I don't turn it on myself, but I'll listen if you play it. Sure.
Did you know that they say he is a great, fine accordion player. Now, I'm a little bit musical. I can play a little bit of stuff, but I used to be able to before the arthritis more, I guess. But I can't really tell the difference between a great accordion player and a good one. So I just got to take people's words for it. It's like,
I don't know either.
I have seen him shred on it though, like in videos and concerts and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Maybe we could show a clip on here sometime.
We should. We could do a little reaction video with some Weird Al stuff. I know we're gonna do one on Conan's very first episode. Maybe this week. Hopefully soon. Anyway.
So we have a serious topic this week.
What's that?
We picked this out of our topic jar, which I don't have right now. But I wanted to ask you, as we get into this topic, what are some things that you used to do pre-internet when you were a kid? We had no internet. We had 4 channels. 5 channels?
About that. I mean, if you had UHF, I guess. Yeah, you
Yeah,
had one.
if the
extra.
rabbit ears were right, you had 5 channels. 2 newspapers. Mainly got those on Sunday. That was about it, right? As far as social media goes, or as far as any kind of technologically advanced entertainment, movies, going to the movies, that kind of stuff. But what did you do pre-internet?
We weren't rich like you, so we couldn't afford to go to the movies or anything like that. Sometimes people would come over and watch The Bat. There was a bat that flew around the street, like up across the street, and people would come sit on the porch. Hey, look, there's a bat.
Did you guys?
I'm not saying things were good before the internet. You just asked what we did.
Okay. Well, I spent a lot of my time on wheels. I biked everywhere, and I roller skated everywhere. And I would roller skate in our house too. We had a basement, concrete basement floor, pretty cracked, pitted, and we had 2 rabbits that we kept downstairs too. They had their hutches, but we would let them out all the time and like play with them, and we would roller skate with them all the time in the basement. And we had the poles the beams that hold up your house. We had the metal poles, and we'd like flip around them real fast. That was fun. Yeah.
And not dangerous at all. Yeah.
Not dangerous at all. My sister broke her tooth on that floor, actually. Yeah.
I knocked a tooth loose roller skating.
Yeah.
As a kid, yeah.
Well, I was gonna say I have no knees to this day because I had no knees as a child. For my entire childhood, I had just
well, we had to
open wounds on the knees all the time.
We had to find our thrills in whatever way we could back then, and one of them was danger. We lawn darts. Remember those things? It's supposed to be a game. Throwing metal spikes at each other. All me and my cousin would do is throw them as high up in the air as we could when my parents weren't around, which is pretty much always. And then dodge them as they came back down. Still here to tell the tale,
That's
but
right.
he's not. Notice he's not on the podcast.
Yeah, he's not here.
So I don't know. Things were so much different. Like, I mean, let's keep this family friendly. But I can just remember as a kid, if you found one scrap of a Playboy out in the woods walking, it got passed around the entire school yard, it seemed like. And now, anything you want to find is on the internet.
Right.
Too easy.
Right. Yeah.
Not just that with that, but I don't know.
Not on Tubi. But, okay, here's something that we used to do that was, fun and nice back in the day before the internet, was we went to a lot of local places. Like, I remember right down the street from us. We didn't live around much at all. We were kind of small town. But right down the road from us, I'm sorry?
Oh, no, good.
Oh, okay. Right down the road from us, there was a small grocery store and combination malt shop on the other side. It was Waite's Market and Waite's
Was this the 50s?
malt shop. No, he was actually the first person ever in our little neck of the woods to have arcade games. So his malt shop was the place that I would go to play Frogger. Was his very first arcade game that he had in there, and then he later added Pac-Man.
I'd go to Frank's liquor store, which, boy, my brother would take me up there, and yeah, he was the first place in town. Well, not in town; he was a little bit outside of town, but yeah, had a video arcade machine up there, and then Walmart had some, but I could hardly ever afford to play them.
Yeah.
But yeah, now
Were there
all those are
grown
online
men
for
playing
free.
that?
Well, yeah.
Were
Yeah,
there?
people thought it was pretty cool. I mean, you remember
Okay.
Pac-Man fever?
Well, I remember.
Even out in the country, we had it.
Yeah, I didn't see many adults playing it. I saw a lot of them looking at them,
Yeah.
but I didn't. I mean, there weren't a whole lot of adults that played it in our town. It was mostly kids. You know, you're in line with a bunch of kids.
At the Walmart, I remember a lot of teenagers would be lined up doing it, and I was pre-teen then, I guess, when that came out. So I'd watch the teenagers play, and then by the time I got older enough to have my own quarters, I guess, to waste on video games, stuff like Mortal Kombat. But I always liked the good old pinball. I was pretty good at it.
Well, speaking of games, did you ever go to the bingo hall when you
My
were?
mom used to take me to bingo all the time,
Yeah.
VHS. People in there chain smoking.
A cloud of smoke.
My mom and grandma both would have like 40 bingo cards in front of them and they'd give me 6 of them. Hey, Dan, you watch these, and if you win, we'll split the money here and have a cigarette. Yeah, it was every Friday night.
It sounds like good, wholesome family fun.
They were gambling addicts, my mom and grandma.
Well,
Bingo
then
addicts.
we're getting into some deep
Did you
things.
know that?
The topic was
Bingo.
speaking of the internet.
Yeah.
Do you think the internet is inherently good or evil?
Well,
That's the topic.
I mean, can we section it off into places? Here's the good thing about the internet.
Okay.
When I was going to college, I wanted a set of old English dictionaries because it told the origin and history of every word, and I just found that interesting. And there was no other way to really find it except to go get those, go to the library, dig one of those out, and look it up.
Right.
And I don't know, I just like to sit and look at them sometimes. There were some in the English department when you're just waiting. I'd take a look. It was an outrageous amount of money. I thought one of these days, if I ever get $600 that I could spend on whatever I want, since I'm a billionaire, I'm going to get some of those. Now it's all right there on the internet for whatever we pay a month for that. Free. So that's a good thing, I think, right?
Well, it's not really free.
Well,
I hate
you
to
know,
tell you this,
still,
but it's not
yeah.
really free. But yeah, same thing. I used to read the National Geographic, I believe, Animal Wildlife card collection. You had a little set of cards that you get in the mail every month. You'd get a set, and you'd get like 10 new cards, and you'd add them in the little categories. I really like the animal sets, but I also had another set about biology, but mostly human biology, which
Yeah.
was pretty nice too. I like the animal one better. But yeah, so that's a lot of great information I can get now on the internet.
Sure. You remember the Time Life books, the mysteries?
Yes,
My grandma loved those things.
I loved those things
So
too.
I'd read those as a kid as well. But here's where some of the bad part about the information comes out on the internet. About 95% of it is Time Life mysteries. That is, it's a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah.
It might be fun to look at, but who knows if it's real or not, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so I think the informational part is good. I watch a lot of video essays and stuff on YouTube. You can do a whole class on quantum physics or any subject you find interesting from good professors or whatever all across the world or people in the field for free. And that's awesome. But then you could also scroll down a little bit and just find hateful people being mean to each other for no reason, yelling at each other about politics on a freaking science video of all things, or just whatever. And that's the part that gets evil because everybody hates each other now.
Right. I think, as with many things that we've invented, I think it started out, I think we actually started it with good intentions. But then humans were like, how far can we push this? Because that's what we do, right? And that's, that's when it started to get downright dangerous. Because not only can you find, hateful things on there that are dangerous, but you can also find a lot of things that are just patently untrue, masquerading as truth. And there's where it gets super dangerous.
Human race wasn't ready for the internet, I don't think yet.
I don't think so either. I think if you, and me being a part of Generation X, a part of the two Generation Xers left, me being a part of that and like straddling the line between the time that it was, because it was a boom. It was absolutely a boom. One thing happened and then everything happened. Yeah. I mean, it really just rolled out super quickly. Within half of my lifetime, not even my full lifetime, within about half of my lifetime, within about 25 years, it really just exponentially went. And if you think about all the knowledge that we have now on the internet, it's absolutely a superpower.
Well, it is. I mean, we'll be the last generation, I guess, Generation X, to remember life pre-internet. Mm-hmm. And for people who grew up with it, it's impossible to imagine what life was like without it, I think, for them.
Right.
That's how big of a difference it made. It's just a whole new world.
It is a whole new world. And like I said, an absolute superpower, and one that, as you said, I really don't think we're ready for. We don't have the responsibility for all of that superpower, and it's a lot. It's all the knowledge in the world.
Probably the invention of the 24-hour news cycle and the internet at roughly the same time in human history was not a good. Like, maybe we could have got one first and the other later. Would have been better.
Maybe.
Because, I mean, the whole thing about the 24-hour news cycle is the only way to get ratings is to be louder and louder than the other person, which ends up being people yelling at each other. We all know the story. Everybody gets in their bubbles. Everybody's mad. And so you don't have to talk to your actual neighbor who might have different political views and realize they're a person, because you can sit there and only talk to the people who agree with you on your comments on your news thing. And it's just, I don't know. Is that how we want things to be?
Well,
do we want to look at half the country as evil?
Right. And here's the other way that we can also get ratings if we are a news outlet or a social media platform, by increasing alarming content. If you've got breaking news suddenly going on, you're going to click on that and see what it is. And it seems like there's breaking news all the time.
Yeah, I could probably turn on any of the big three news channels right now, and they would all have breaking news on the screen.
Or
news that's been breaking for the last 48 hours.
Right. Or on the other side of the coin, in the social media side, you've got more and more videos that are pushing the limit because we've seen that and done that. We've seen that video. We need something more. We're going to do this now and show this video. And it just gets more and more graphic and violent and hateful, untrue. It's a problem. If you've got to constantly scream for attention, what do you need all that attention for? First of all, what? We don't need to have our attention on all that stuff all the time.
We say as we're promoting ourselves right out to the world.
Right.
I don't know. I had something to say and then I forgot. I'm having a senior moment. But
That's okay.
what were you saying again?
I was saying that we have to be more strident and more violent, or more like pushing the limits in order to get people to watch us now. And it's becoming pretty dangerous.
I would like to start right now the anti-political movement. And by that I mean, the one thing Generation X was good at was not caring what a bunch of boring people, rich people in suits were doing or saying. And I think probably we could get back to that because we all know the big headlines are always going to be poverty, injustice, crime, war, and you can name a few others. It's always those. It's always been those. 100 years from now, it's still going to be those. So you could go out and work on those yourself in your community, helping this person out, helping that person out, doing whatever. You don't have to know the minutia of everything everybody says about every topic so that you can yell about it.
Well, I think...
Stop caring.
Yeah.
So much. Just care enough to help. And not enough that you're paralyzed by anger to even not do anything.
Right. I think there is actually a movement now, and I'm all about it, where we are getting back to more community-minded things. We're still a global social community in ways.
This show is we're a global hit.
Well, yeah.
We're global
Ask
sensation.
Ohio, okay?
Yeah. Ask Antarctica.
Ask Wisconsin or Virginia. Weren't those the twin cities where we're also popular?
Hey man, are you watching that dragon show?
I am.
What's going on with that thing?
That is House of the Dragon. Yeah, it is.
I'm not going to do it.
You're not going to do it?
Tell these folks what it's like.
You know, it's starting off really strong. I'm in the excuse me. I'm on the 5th episode, I think. Strong character base, decent story. It doesn't break the mold or anything, but it goes along well with their, what is that called? Their history, their...
Mythos, lore?
Their lore, thank you. It goes along with their lore, definitely. It's supposedly about 200 years before Daenerys comes along in Game of Thrones, so we're getting a prequel to what, happened badly in Game of Thrones.
See, that's the thing. Endings are hard. I like to give shows a lot of leeway on endings because it's hard to stick a landing, especially with a great show like Breaking Bad did it, Battlestar Galactica, but whatever. That last season or two was so bad of Game of Thrones. It left such a bad taste in my mouth that I can't even give this one a shot until it's over. If it goes 9 seasons, I'll watch it when 9 seasons are done, and you tell me it's worth it.
Okay, I'll forge ahead. I'll scout ahead.
You scout ahead and look out for danger. Cause
I will.
Fool me once, George Martin. Shame on you. Fool me twice.
Shame on Margaret.
Shame on me. He's just, I'll be honest with you. I don't blame him for not finishing that book. Writing's hard. It's a lot of boring work. And now he's rich and famous. He can be on talk shows. He's on Conan.
That's not right.
Why would you write your book if you could be on Conan?
That's not right.
Conan's funny. Writing a book is boring.
No, that's not right. That's like telling somebody they have a present and never giving it to them.
See? That's why you should never give a writer fame till they're dead. They'll never finish their books after that.
We've learned our lesson now.
Well, no. I mean, maybe if you get them hopped up on cocaine, some writers like that. I don't know what I'm even talking about.
I don't know either. I don't know. I was going to show our lovely viewers something else.
That we did pre-internet.
Yes, that we did pre-internet. And let me tell you something, Dan. I'm going to tell you something, okay? You're going to know a little bit about me right now, okay?
I'm ready to learn.
My 4th grade self would be thrilled that I would be sharing this after turning 50.
I'm thrilled.
This is my stamp album from about middle school was when I started it. I loved stamps. I'm such a little stamp geek. Like, I didn't have very much in this. It was just like let me bring it over here. I didn't have very much, in this book because it kind of came with a kit that went with it that you could, you match the little stamps and you put them on the little pictures in here. So there's not a whole lot in here, but my mom every once in a while would buy like little bags of stamps. Here's one from Romania. Look at that. And plus I was fascinated with like where they were from too. I would see where they were from and I would be like, well, I wonder why they have that. And then I might look up Romania in the encyclopedia to see why they have looks like raspberries on this one. I don't know. Is Romania famous for raspberries? Probably.
Even pre-internet, that's a bunch of nerdiness you got going on
that
right there, man.
Was hours of fun,
was
friend.
It?
Yes, it was.
Look, I'll tell you about hours of fun.
Okay.
You couldn't just look at people you liked anytime you felt like it back then.
No.
You better hope they're on TV if you want to get a look at their faces.
Or they're walking right by you.
So if you liked baseball and you wanted to look at your favorite players, you couldn't just go on the internet and rewatch a game or whatever. You had to buy these cards and just hope they're on it. Who's this person? I don't know.
They didn't even tell you beforehand. You just opened the packet and they were like, well, that's what you get.
There's Rick Leach. Now, I don't even know who that, I can't remember who that is now, but
Rick
I guarantee there's 9,100 pictures of him on the internet now.
I think he sold our family their auto insurance policy. I'm not really sure, but okay.
But yeah, so if I wanted to see that guy back then, I'd have to hope I got that card and then just, I don't know, take it out every once in a while and look at it, because what else was there to do pre-internet? Not a lot.
Right.
Sometimes I'd look at that guy.
Who is that guy?
Sometimes I'd show him to my friends and say, hey, what guys you got? Here are the guys I got. Show me the guys you got, and then we'll change them.
And sometimes I'd be like, hey, you know what? What if I was this guy? Hey, Dan. I'm going to be this guy right now.
I'll trade you this guy for that guy.
All right. Well, I am this guy. Look at, he's...
I don't know how girls
This guy
play,
is Rennie Martin. He's from the Royals.
He was in 1984. He's not now.
He's once a Royal, always a Royal.
If you like the movie, let's say E.T., well, maybe you got to see it once. After that, buddy, you better have this card if you ever wanted to relive your favorite moments.
It was all cards after that.
Now it's all on YouTube.
They were like, even when you tried to go rent it at a Blockbuster store and you were like, hey, can I get E.T.? And they would be like, have you already seen it? If you have, here's some cards for you.
This is my Star Wars lunchbox with my Hulk Hogan sticker.
Right.
This is original, man. It's worth about $40, baby.
Yeah.
In this shape, about $20. But I don't have it for money.
Is it really worth that? And that, or are you just guessing?
No, they're worth a little bit of money, but not much. Yeah, about $100 maybe, and maybe $200 in mint condition. But
well,
it's more if you've got the thermos, but I don't have it.
Well, you would never give away your Star Wars
Well,
lunchbox,
no,
right?
I don't know.
No way. No way.
If it helped
You're not
out.
getting it.
Oh, well, that about explains it this week, I guess, doesn't it?
I think so.
I was going to talk about new teeth, but I'll talk about it next week. I could get a bunch of teeth pulled at the end of the month.
It's going to be hard, but then it'll be better. I think. Yeah. It's
I feel
going to
like
be okay.
we're missing something. I feel like there's something we want to talk about that now we're not. Next week, hey, thank you all for joining us. We got a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of nice video essays, clips, comedy stuff. But every week we just like to get on here and chat live a little bit with y'all. Who knows? Next week we might have 100 people watching.
All from Ohio.
Once this thing hits the presses and people see how hot this show is.
Right.
Baby.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Have a good week. Come back.